My background includes handling dozens and dozens of jury trials as a prosecutor of very difficult sexual assault and rape cases. I think I have taken an acute interest, along with many of my colleagues, on the pervasive problem of prosecuting sexual assault in the military. I feel a sense of urgency today because of what happened last week. A Colonel, James Wilkerson, was convicted by a jury, a military jury, of sexual assault that occurred at Aviano. He was sentenced to dismissal, forfeiture of pay, and 1 year in jail. And with a stroke of a pen last week, a general dismissed those charges against him. A general with no legal training, a general that had not sat in the courtroom, and this general did it against the advice of his legal counsel. Now, my heart is beating fast right now. I am so upset about this. As we are trying to send a signal to women. Now, the victim in this case wasn't a member of our military. I question now whether that unit that that man returns to, whether there's any chance a woman who is sexually assaulted in that unit would ever say a word. Because what that general just said is that jury's decision didn't matter. The rules actually say that the convening authority not only has complete discretion as to whether or not a case is brought without any legal training required, that general, that convening authority also has the right to either reduce punishment or dismiss the cases for, quote, any reason or no reason at all. We need to have something other than the arbitrary decision of one general without any other supervising authority, any other procedure that is necessary to actually overturn the very difficult decision that the jury came to.
Let me assure you, Senator, that the Supreme Court has upheld what Congress has passed for the UCMJ, recognizing the unique aspects of the military, that justice is overwhelmingly served by the currently constituted UCMJ. And I say that because as a commander, I was not just responsible for prosecution, I was also responsible for defense. And commanders must balance both of those if we're to have a fair system.
Set aside the specifics of this case, but do you really think that after a jury has found someone guilty and dismissed someone from the military for sexual assault, that one person, over the advice of their legal counselor, should be able to say, never mind? Don't you think that someone up the chain should have an opportunity to look at that if they're going to dismiss it, a jury conviction? I mean, I'm not talking about, you know, I understand that the military is not the civilian system, but I'm trying to envision here the ability of a prosecutor or a defense lawyer or the person who they both work for, and that's a weird concept for me to get my arms around, the notion that they could unilaterally, without having to have any justification, for no reason at all, just say, never mind. I think that is something that most, especially when you realize how serious this problem is.
Commanders, including women commanders, have this authority for a reason, for a vested reason. And I would just tell you that I would look beyond one case, and because
unfortunately, General, I think I could bring you a lot of cases. I think I could bring you a lot where cases were not brought, where victims were not taken seriously. I think there's a culture issue that's going to have to be addressed here. And what this decision did was, all it did was underline and put an exclamation point behind the notion that if you are sexually assaulted in the military, good luck.